everybody, welcome back to my channel, Lazy Coffee Princess. It's Lauren here today, and I am so happy with all the progress I've done on the reading quest. And I have officially finished the rogue pathway that I was doing, and I'm so thrilled and I'm so impressed with myself that I've read 5 books in 3 weeks, especially starting school and all the personal stuff that I've been having to do. So I just kind of wanted to run through and tell you what my afterthoughts were on these books and give the ratings. Almost all of these got like 4 stars or above. And I also have a blog post going out about this topic, and it kind of goes together. So let's go ahead and get started. I just want to say real quick that I've been keeping progress of the quest that I've been doing in a notebook, and it's kind of looks like this. Has just what I'm doing, and then I numbered them, and I have been crossing them off as I go. And so then on the next page I've been keeping track of my experience, my level, my health points, and what I finished. So the first book that I finished for this quest was Greystone, and I was kindly sent this book by the authors, and I loved it. If you watched my last video, I talked about this book there, and I loved it. I will give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it just blew me away by the talent and how descriptive it was, and how I really like how the world that the authors created, it just captured me and it made me feel like I was there, and it was so descriptive, and I got through this book in like 2 days, and I was so proud of myself. So they sent it to me on my Kindle, and I just loved it. Then after that, I started reading the Venetian Bargain, and it was so good, and I was so happy with the progress that I made on it. I went through it relatively quickly, I think within like 2 days. Within 2 days I got through this book, and it was so capturing, and I just love her writing, and I know that whatever book she publishes, I'm gonna love it. And I'm immediately going to like get it and read it. Like, now that I've read 2 of her works, it's just amazing, and I can't wait to read more because she has like 2 or 3 more books out, so I guess I'll be heading over to Barnes & Noble soon, right? Right. So I'm going to go ahead and give this book 4 out of 5 stars. The only frustrating thing about the book, and I understand as a writer that, you know, she couldn't get her characters together, but oh my gosh, the suspense of the romance in here. And you're just like, and now kiss. Just kiss now, and my world will be happy. Like, just, okay. But it was so frustrating, but that was it's like such a good reason why I had to knock off a star. Or it probably would have gotten 5 out of 5 stars. And the time period, oh my gosh. And Venice, oh my gosh. I love Italy. I love Venice. I just went there, like, not even just a little bit over a month ago, and oh my gosh, it just captured the city perfectly. The next book that I finished was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, and honestly, I wish somebody would have given me a warning like, hey, this book is extremely sexual, because, you know, I got my nails done, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Starbucks, and I'm gonna start reading this book and just enjoy my day. And honestly, I could have used like a censor warning, because oh my gosh, I was sitting in Starbucks reading, and I could feel the blush. Like, I could just feel it rising. I was like, within like the first couple of chapters, I was like, okay. So for that reason, I do have to give it 3 out of 5 stars, but I do realize the psychology and the theories behind it, and the overall story was actually really interesting, how all the characters connected at the end and how everything turned out. It was quite sad, and just, it was sad, but I do understand that it was like a utopian world, and, you know, of course something goes wrong, and, you know, of course there's unfair treatments and an unfair caste system and everything, and it really makes you think about the way that we treat people. It's just one of those days where I needed like 2 or 3 cups of coffee. and Taco Bell. So it's going great. Okay, the next book that I finished was an audiobook because I had quite a long, like I had a 5-hour drive to go visit some friends and hang out with them. So I decided, why not use this time to read? You know, I got a book that was exactly like in 5 hours, which was Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, and I loved it. I love Audible. I love everything about it. It's so easy to use and it's so awesome. I just, I now, you know, but anyway, so the book, it was very capturing. It made it really invested in her story and what she had to say, even though she couldn't speak. And then, you know, when the big twist came around, you just, like, I had to pull over and I was almost in tears. It was so moving. I wish I would have read this book as a teenager and not as like a young adult, you know, because it brings to view a couple of very serious problems that youth have to face now. I will give a trigger warning for this book though, sexual abuse. So it made it a very hard weekend with my friends because that's what was on my mind. I will say trigger warning all over the place because it's about her having to deal with the aftermath of rape. But I will give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I just loved it, and I loved the narrator, which makes it so much better. And the way that it was told, oh gosh, I loved it. It's raining outside right now, so there's like some really weird sounds going around in my house, so it's kind of like, I don't know what to do. Okay. And the last book that I had on my list to read for my rogue pathway was Wormwood. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this book 5 out of 5 stars because holy crap, it blew me away and it was so good. Hopefully I'll get a review of this book and of Greystone out in the next 2 weeks. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing. Just to like kind of close up about this reading challenge and what I've learned about myself thus far is that I love reading books by indie authors. Like, it's such a unique experience to read outside of the norm of what people would usually see, because I haven't seen any books I haven't seen either Wormwood or Greystone here on YouTube, on Bookstagram, on Book Twitter, on any of those. I haven't really seen them on any blogs either. Also, the other thing that I've learned is that, you know, if I really put my mind to it and if I stop watching TV and get off of like doing silly things, I actually can read quite a bit and I enjoy it so much and I look at the world so much more differently and I just love it. Hey, and we're gonna call that.
I've been working overtime, vacation is overdue. Swimming through them city streets, man, my mind is so polluted. Take me to that ocean view. Take me to that ocean view.